Ah, there we go. Page is open, ink's not dried yet, and my nose still smells like mushrooms. Must be story time. Hiya, I'm Khee. Your resident, annotated interpreter, yep. Sent on a mission from the one and only Chronicler Locke. He writes the stories, and I read them out loud, add the spice, and sometimes correct his grammar. Sometimes. Anyway, Locke's off somewhere, quill in hand, muttering about narrative structure or whatever. Me, I get to share what he's found. Today's a real treat. We're diving deep, really deep, into the fungal warrens and squiggly madness of the Gloomspite Gitz. A whole lot of grinning goblins, grots, and things that go boing in the dark. So sit back, grab a torch, trust me, you're gonna want one, and let's peek into one of the weirdest, wildest corners of the realms. From the quill of Chronicler Locke. During the Age of Myth, both the Moon Clan Grots and Spiderfang Grots established their homes in the deepest and darkest corners of the mortal realms. Known for their cunning, these tribes, following devastating defeats, would vanish into hidden bolt holes where they could weather the storm of chaos above. Classic grot behavior. Poke the bear, then disappear into a fungus hole. The Moon Clan Grots, in particular, shun daylight. The sun scorches their skin and stings their already beady little eyes. These creatures worship a celestial abomination known as the Bad Moon, from which they take their name. Celestial abomination. Locke's words, not mine. I'd call it a flying cheese wheel of doom. Just saying. They were content to vanish into their lurk lairs, breeding squigs, cultivating exotic fungi, and emerging only when the prize above was truly worth the effort. Spiderfang Grots shared many of these habits, but their culture revolved entirely around the veneration, rearing, and riding of myriad species of arachnid beasts. Yup, they love their spiders. Big ones, hairy ones, venomous ones. Some even explode. Not on purpose, I think. As these creatures thrived in dank and lightless places, the Spiderfang Grots made their homes in jungle-choked ravines, fetid swamplands, and vast cave networks, some so large they formed their own microclimates. That means weather inside a cave. You ever been rained on underground? It's not ideal. Troggoths, too, thrived in these dismal regions, drawn to foul and damp environments where primordial gungi accumulated and new generations of Troggoths were born. If you're wondering what primordial gungi smells like, don't. Just don't. So Locke is saying I'm pronouncing gungi wrong, says it's gunge. Well, then why does it have an E at the end? Locke. It looks like gungi. Ugh, whatever, primordial gunj. Anyway, next. In the Age of Chaos, these gloom-dwelling factions spread even farther, carving crude fortresses into cave mouths and raising shanty cities aglow with fungus amidst the shadows. New stranger breeds of squigs and insects were bred in the depths, each more peculiar and more dangerous than the last. At times, these grots would tunnel into the lower reaches of Fireslayer magma holds or Skaven burrows, sparking brutal wars beneath the surface. Some lurk lairs were obliterated. Others were built atop the bones of fallen civilizations. Moon Clan Grots also stumbled across Spiderfang brood nests and ancient trog holes. While violence sometimes erupted, the Grots were less inclined to endless battle than the Aurochs. I mean, have you met an Auroch? Biting is foreplay to them? And instead, a form of barter took shape. Moon Clan fungi and potions became valuable to the Spiderfangs, who offered up hallucinogenic venoms and exotic poisons in return. These interactions led to tentative truces, shaky alliances, and the eventual rise of the first unified Gloomspite hordes. Grots, trogs, spiders, together at last for murder. In the Age of Sigmar, as death spread and the dead rose in staggering numbers, wars erupted over dominion of underworlds and the fate of countless souls. In these dark times, the Bad Moon stirred. Once a wandering omen, it now hurtles through the void like a runaway boulder, leaving madness, destruction, and lunacy in its wake. Lovely travel companion, that one. 5 stars. Those afflicted by the Gloomspite, an uncontrollable frenzy brought on by the Bad Moon's passage, gather into maddened warbands. They seek to please the entity above, driven by a singular, apocalyptic vision, the coming of the Everdank. What is the Everdank? I don't know. Locke won't say. Probably involves mushrooms, madness, and no sunshine ever again. Honestly, sounds kind of cozy. The ultimate ambition of the Gloomspite Gitz is nothing short of apocalyptic. They dream of a future where Glareface Frazzle Git is destroyed, where light is banished, and where the bad moon hangs forever in the sky, casting its grim and grinning shadow across the realms. A time they call the Everdank. Endless night, endless mushrooms, squigs everywhere. And me? I'll be in a cave somewhere with a cup of spider tea and a map of all the safe places that are now very unsafe. Oh, and you too, Locke. Don't worry. I'm sure in this new goblin-dominated world there will be room for half-elven servants. Ah, you could be like one of those stodgy butlers who brings me my tea. I'd get you a costume and everything. Bliss. But no myth is complete without its villain. And for the Gloomspite Gitz, that enemy is none other than Glareface Frazzle Git. To the unknowing, Glareface is simply the harsh, painful light of Hish, the realm of light. But to the Grots, he is a celestial bully, a tormenting force that burns their skin, stabs their eyes, and dares to mock their beloved moon. To the Moon Clan's Spiderfangs and Troggoths alike, Glareface Frazzle Git is everything they loathe: brightness, cleanliness, clarity, order. And yet, in true Grot fashion, they can't help but admire him just a little. Because let's be honest, who doesn't want to be the biggest, scariest thing in the sky? Even if you're made of blinding laser hate. In their endless schemes to bring low Glareface Frazzle Git, some Gits do not merely oppose him. They imitate him, spreading fear, asserting dominance, and bullying all who stand in their way. Notably the Snarlfang clans. Ahem. Right then, the Bad Moon and Glareface Frazzle Git. The nature of the Gloomspite Gitz is shaped, profoundly, by a strange and savage celestial duality. The Bad Moon and its sworn foe, Glareface Frazzle Git. Yup, that's actually what it's called. I checked twice. Glareface. Frazzle Git, glare. Face. The Bad Moon is no mere satellite. It is a malevolent and ever-moving force of destruction, an unblinking grin in the sky, hurling across the heavens without pattern or mercy. Wherever it appears, fungal infestations erupt, pushing through stone, sprouting from creatures, and overtaking entire landscapes until madness and mushrooms blanket all beneath its glare. Mushroom carpet, very cozy, very squishy. Those touched by its light are consumed by despair. Despondency sets in, minds fracture. Yet for the Grots, its illumination is a sacred boon. Cowardice is banished. Fear becomes fury. And from the darkness, war bands rise. Clans of Moon Clan, Spiderfang, and more pour from their holes and hollows, driven to spread chaos in the moon's name. It is believed the Bad Moon rewards acts of impressive destruction as it passes overhead, delighting in violence and empowering those who please it with more savage strength. Cave shamans channeled terrifying magics, warped by lunar energy. Troggoths, usually sluggish and sleepy, become engines of violence. Spiderfang mounts writhe with venomous glee, and even the snarling Snarlfangs of the Git mob feel the surge of lunar might. Whole armies pumped full of moonlight and bad decisions. What could go wrong? Man, I might be biased being a goblin and all, but these grots sound awesome. Ahem, from the quill of Chronicler Locke, again. Ooh, long one this time. He even underlined some bits. That's either emphasis or an ink spill. The Gloomspite Gitz are an alliance of disparate races and factions. Though they differ in culture, dwelling, and method of warfare, they are unified by their devotion to the Bad Moon. Whenever its baleful light touches the realms, the Gitz pour from their lairs and warrens to wage war upon all others. Very social creatures, really, just aggressively so. Moon Clan. Moon Clan grots are deranged subterranean dwellers, living in the deep caverns of the mortal realms. Their worship is divided between Gorka Morka and the Bad Moon. Classic fence-sitters. They craft toxins from mushrooms and cultivate wild squigs, feral, unpredictable beasts which they drive into battle for both strategic advantage and personal amusement. Wait, so they weaponize fungus and bounce happy murder balls purely for giggles? Respect. Clad in filthy rags, the Moon Clan Grots raid strongholds of chaos and order alike, lighting bonfires to dance beneath the moonlight. At dawn, they retreat back into darkness. Daylight is abhorrent to them. They loathe it with a passion, holding it in bitter contempt. You and me both, buddy. Sunlight's just skyfire for the soul. Gitmob. Gitmob Grots are vicious, cowardly, and cruel. Unlike their subterranean kin, they do not fear the light of day, which just proves they're already weird. These snarl-fang-mounted warriors interpret the brightness of Hish as Glareface Frazzlegit, the supreme celestial enemy of their beloved Bad Moon. Still funny, still can't believe that's its name. Each day, Gitmob warbands emerge from their caves mounted on lupine beasts or rickety chariots cobbled together from scavenged parts. In vast packs, they scour the realms in search of Glareface's presence, seeking to claim his power and bring about the Everdank. Beyond Snarlfang's Gitmob warbands make use of bizarre war engines, often beast-drawn and stitched together with cruelty and cunning. They are the most frequently encountered of all Grot kind across the mortal realms. Spiderfang. Spiderfang Grots are those driven mad by a diet of venomous arachnids. Their worship centers on a spider god, viewed as an aspect of Gorka Morka, and the Bad Moon, which they believe is the god's egg sac. Their lairs are found in web-entangled wildernesses and the ruins of fallen kingdoms. Leadership among the Spiderfang encourages spiders to nest upon their bodies, and many willingly ingest venom to enter trance-like prophetic states. When roused to battle, Spiderfang tribes make offerings in bone-filled pits and summon the divine avatars of their faith. Massive Arachnarok spiders. If your plan includes giant spider god beast, your plan might be too effective. Troggards. The Troggards are a brutish strain marked by regenerative resilience, corrosive bile, and an intellect limited to primal violence. So basically walking stomachs with clubs and a grudge. Got it. They emerge from under bridges, beneath mountain roots, or the filth-choked veins of riverbeds. Wherever the light of Azir does not shine, Troggards breed and bide. When war calls, they are stirred from slumber and drawn to destruction. Many Orruk war clans have learned to prod them into battle, unleashing ruin upon caravans, villages, and anything else unfortunate enough to be nearby. So, 4 kinds of crazy, all chewing on the same moonbeam. The Gloomspite Gitz might seem like a swarm of chaos and noise, but every part plays its role, worships the Bad Moon, and dances to the rhythm of lunacy. It's madness, organized, weaponized, beautifully fungal madness. Whew, that was a lot of fungus, fangs, and frenzied fanatics. But, I kinda loved it. I mean, I'm technically not from the mortal realms. Apparently there are many realms with goblins, but you know, I'm still a goblin. Ink-stained fingers, suspicious morals, wildly unregulated hobbies. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I've got cousins bouncing around with the Moon Clan somewhere. Maybe one of them rides a squig. Maybe one is a squig. Hard to say. But yeah, the Gloomspite Gitz, they're chaotic, creepy, crafty, and a little bit cozy in a deeply concerning way. I definitely want more of them. And you will too, because Locke's got more scribbles on these little loonies coming soon. And you know I'm gonna read every last word of it. Probably out loud, possibly with snacks. So, thanks for sticking with me through the madness, the mushrooms, and the mayhem. On behalf of Chronicler Locke and myself, thank you for listening to another tale from the dark corners of the realms. Until next time, God bless.
Feelings spark when I compute, or am I just a substitute?